It's hard to imagine Vail without this chapel.
I think Vail would not be a community or a town if we didn't have a chapel.
This is the spiritual heart of our village and Vail Valley, really.
It's the heart and soul of the community. It's the one place that we all can put our finger on it and we have a feeling like this is a part of us.
This is a chapel that serves our community in so many different ways. It's been the bastion of our community since 1969.
The founders of Vail, maybe not the first year, but in the early years, set this parcel aside, designating as where we can build a church.
Vail was created as a destination resort. It was created in the vision of Pete Seibert and Earl Eaton. It's always reflected this experience of recreation and having fun. But a community needs more than that. A community needs a place where they can gather, where they can address issues together, and where they can have peace, quiet, and contemplation.
Vail needs this kind of place. Senior groups have come here. We've had all kinds of classes with first responders. It's just a place of support and where we care about each other.
The chapel is a really important community treasure, I would describe it as a place where we can have AA meetings and we can house people who are stranded because I-70's closed.
For family gatherings, reunions, celebrations, weddings, of course, and memorial services. It's an essential part of every community.
I think one of the special parts about the chapel is how it's being used by so many faiths. That if it was just the Jewish faith in a synagogue, it's empty most of the week. But here, it's busy. It's busy with weddings and celebrations. So to utilize the building with so many different faiths and share it with them makes it a very special place and unique.
What I remember is my very first season here in Vail, and I remember on Christmas Day popping into the chapel. It was that piece of home that came back for me. And I'll always remember that because what the Vail Chapel is that continuity with who you are and where you come from, sometimes with a higher power and sometimes just with a moment of peace and quiet or an opportunity to connect with people in your community.
I've had at least 5 different occasions where I've come in here and there was someone in here who's praying, who's crying. One story in particular, and I walk in and I met this young man who is literally weeping uncontrollably. His firstborn child was born stillborn at the hospital. And I thank God that I was here that day. Where would he have gone without a chapel? He came looking for comfort. And you can't put a price tag on that. That's what we're here for.
Many buildings in our town since 1969 have undergone 2 or 3 or 4 transformations. So it's very important that we maintain the building, number one, and enhance it.
So as an architect, my thought process is always to listen to the existing building. Currently, there are many of those systems, these significant systems, that are at the end of their life cycle. The mechanical system, it is not up to current standards. It also just doesn't provide the creature comforts that are expected in today's buildings. The electrical system is overloaded and has been modified over time, and so now there are outages at some of the most critical times. Our goal is that when we complete this full renovation, that it'll be lower maintenance, lower energy cost, higher experience, higher use, but ultimately it will continue to serve the community in such a special way that it always has.
Vail is certified as a top 100 sustainable destination in the United States, but actually in the world. And with that designation comes a whole bunch of not only responsibilities, but commitments and values. And we really appreciate that the Vail Chapel has also prioritized this for the future, because as a community, we'll only achieve it if we really work together to protect that certification, to value our environment, and ensure that we're keeping it for future generations.
When people are donating to the Vail Religious Foundation, it's more about the community that they're giving to. We need to ensure that, I'm just going to say 100 years from now, that this building is still viewed as an iconic structure, and it's a place where people can come and gather.
What's most exciting about the work that's being done and the fundraising that's going on is that there's a plan in place to make sure it stays here for the future. That's an important thing that I think many of us sort of forget about those to come after us. And having this type of campaign where we're really working at not only fixing the building, but also having it here for the next generation is really wonderful.
The Vail Chapel, with its open environment and its commitment to serving all communities, is a place where anyone can stop by any time of the day and have a moment of peace and quiet. It needs to be supported, and we really need help to ensure that not only it lasts for future generations, but that everyone is invested in its future. And so that means the town, it means the community, it means individuals and families, and try to help the chapel to be everything it can be to this community.